This might just be one of the most important AI videos that you watch all year. If you don't know, OpenAI just launched Operator, and what that is their very own AI agent inside of their ecosystem. Now, what does this mean for you? If you're someone like me who's a business owner or even just a working professional, right? We always want to figure out how to gain an unfair advantage for our life, our business, our work through AI. And I truly believe this is going to be the biggest game changer if you understand how to actually implement it well. Now, that being said, I've coached over 300 plus business owners and I run an AI consulting business. And one of the biggest problems that I have is trying to take all this AI jargon, AI technicalities, all this confusing stuff with this new, fast, innovating tech and actually compiling it into tangible, practical things to actually implement. And most importantly, change your life. So I'm actually going to, in this video, react to the actual launch video, break it down step by step, take all this crazy jargon and actually just explain it like a normal person. That way you can actually take some tangible action steps, an actual game plan to implement inside of your business or your day-to-day to actually move the needle. With that being said, let's get right into the reaction and I'll see you here soon. Cheers. All right, time to get into the live reaction. Got my tea. Let's see what Sam and his team got to say about Operator.
Good morning. We've got something exciting for you today. We're going to launch our first agent. AI agents are AI systems that can do work for you independently. You give them a task and they go off and do it. We think this is going to be a big trend in AI and really impact the work people can do, how productive they can be, how creative they can be, what they can accomplish. We're starting today with Operator. Operator is a system that can use a web browser, in this case, a web browser in the cloud, to accomplish tasks that you give it. And we'll show you a demo in just a second, but it's really quite cool what it can do. Just like you would use a web browser, you can get pixels in, you can look at a screen and control, an Operator can do that and then control the keyboard and the mouse and do all sorts of things. This is going to go live today in the United States for pro users.
Okay, pause. So I want to actually explain why this whole AI agent thing is so important, right? Because 90% of the AI tools that we've been using up to this point have really just been using like the ChatGPT prompting, right? So the way that I invite you to think about it is it's kind of like texting. So you feed this chat an actual input, right? Like, hey, find me the top 10 restaurants in New York City. And then it actually gives you those like 10 like restaurants, right? But here's the key, here's the caveat. It requires you to put in that input for it to start working. So it still relies on the human to put in those inputs and actually get a response back. So it's kind of like texting someone. You give someone a text, they give you a text back. Hopefully you're not getting ghosted by like, let's say your Hinge date or whatever, right? But what's super important here is with AI agents, the distinction is we're evolving from software to actual digital workers. Again, we're evolving from software to digital workers, meaning we got to think about this completely different. This is an actual person or digital person on your team or your AI assistant that's working independently from you on autopilot 24/7 without you having literally to be at the desk. So I can literally, let's say, put in an input, right? Or program this AI agent. I can go make a cup of coffee, have some breakfast. And by the time I get back, like he said, it's working in the browser. So it's working literally on your computer, on your laptop while you are not there. That's a game changer. I don't want you to miss that. Now, that being said, we'll talk more about it. I'm going to shut up. I'm just going to let it play. Okay.
The other countries soon, Europe will unfortunately take a while, and we'll also in the coming months make it available to Plus users. This is an early research preview. We've got a lot of improvements to do. We'll make it better. We'll make it cheaper. We'll make it more widely available. But we really want to put it in people's hands. We'll also have more agents to launch in the coming weeks and months. But that said, we'll talk more later. So excited. Just want to show you a demo. I'll hand it over to Yash.
Right. Thanks, Sam. Hi, I'm Yash.
Come on,
this
Yash.
is Casey. That's Ray.
This is a badass
We work
team.
on the
We got a
computer
team of
using
savages
agency.
here.
And we're so excited to show you Operator today. As Sam said, Operator is an early research preview. It will do a lot of cool things. It also makes mistakes, sometimes embarrassing ones. But let's show you what Operator can do.
Right. Okay, let's see it.
So this is the Operator homepage. It lives at operator.chatgpt.com. It'll be accessible as soon as the live stream is over. And as you can see, the interface is very similar to ChatGPT. You can type in a prompt, and an Operator will try to execute the task to the best of its capability. You'll also see we have a list of pre-filled prompts here. These are not really meant to be recommendations. These are meant to be things that to give you an idea of what Operator can do, we have also collaborated with various brands like OpenTable, All Recipes, StubHub, Uber, Thumbtack, DoorDash, eBay, Target, to make sure Operator really works well on these websites. But also, we think users will find Operator very valuable in interacting with these platforms. So with that, let's jump in with a demo. Okay, so I'm going to start with something fairly simple. I'm going to use OpenTable and say, book me a table for 2 at Beretta tonight at 7 p.m. Okay.
And so you specifically chose OpenTable.
Yeah, in this case, I'm asking Operator to use OpenTable to book a table for 2 at Beretta. Beretta is a restaurant in San Francisco. It's great. You should try it out. And at 7 p.m. And I'm using OpenTable in this case, but I could have easily said, just do Beretta, and it would have probably gone to search engine, figured out how to make a reservation as well. But let's see what it does.
So can you explain what's happening in this?
Yeah, right. So I'm going to expand this a little bit. So as soon as I typed in the query, Operator instantiated a completely remote browser. This browser is running in the cloud somewhere. And as you can see, it's already up and running. And my hands are off the keyboard. I'm not typing these things.
So this is just the AI's clicking around.
AI is just clicking around. It started this browser session. It knew where OpenTable website is.
So this is the AI agent piece I'm talking about, right? Now it's actually in your browser doing the tasks. So this is important because, for example, as a business owner, I have an assistant, right? And an assistant will do anything from like booking flights or getting you a reservation for dinner, literally like this, or doing grocery shopping. There's all these admin tasks that business owners and people who actually have assistants, they will spend a salary to pay this person, right? So I'm already seeing, I'm like, man, do I really need an assistant? Right? It's doing essentially what an assistant does, right? Like you'll pay an assistant by the hour or a salary, whatever it is. And that costs money. It's not cheap always, right? It can cost it can cost a pretty penny here and there, depending on what kind of assistant you have and what they're doing. But at even just the lowest tier, average tier, it's still going to cost if you have a VA from the Philippines, it's say $3 to $5 per hour, or $10 per hour, or if you have an actual executive assistant, it's going to cost a lot more than that, depending on the task that they're doing. So if you have ChatGPT have this already integrated, this takes away like 89% of the assistant's tasks and responsibilities, right? In fact, you might be able to train an assistant to do this, and you pay them less by the hour, or they do less hours in the week, right? But I can already start to see, wow, this is taking a lot of admin tasks away from the table there.
Which is OpenTable.com. As you can see, it's summarized chain of thought here as well, which is it's gone to the URL, search for Beretta, and something cool really happened, which is for some reason, OpenTable thought we were in Virginia, and it auto-corrected itself to San Francisco. This is like ChatGPT, in Operator, you can also give custom instructions. I'm going to show this really quickly here. Okay, so I've given a custom instruction that for queries that need it, I live in San Francisco. So Operator recognized that and then auto-corrected itself to go to Beretta. Okay, looks like 7 p.m. isn't available. But you know what? 7:45 is just fine. So we're going to go do that.
Nice. I like that.
In this case, Operator came back, and this is a really good example of task delegation where Operator needs help or needs assistance or just wants to ask you something. It'll just come back and you answer that
So
query.
in practice, you wouldn't have had to watch this. You could have just let it go off while you're doing other things. Then it would come back and say, hey, I can't do 7:45.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we're starting with a web app. You'll get notifications, etc. When Operator moves into mobile, you'll get mobile notifications, much like interactions we do with general apps. Okay, yes, that's great.
That notification piece is so important because it's like, let's say you're like literally on the run, right? Or you're in between meetings and you're like, oh my gosh, I have a date night tonight I haven't found a reservation. Oh my gosh, my date's going to hate me, right? And you're literally like in between meetings, you got 5 minutes, you pump it out in this Operator thing. You're like, hey, find me a reservation for one of the top 5 Mexican restaurants in New York City. Actually, let's not do Mexican restaurants because Mexican restaurants in New York City, frankly, are not that great. I'm coming from someone who used to be in California. Let's say an Italian restaurant, right? So you put it in. All right, find me one of the top Italian restaurants in the Lower East Side or West Village area, wherever you live in New York City. And then it comes back. You clock back in after a meeting. You find the notification and you just say yes. Boom, right then and there. Love that.
Let's do it. Okay, so again, very simple interaction as you would have with an assistant, which is, hey, I found reservations, 7 p.m. wasn't available, let's do 7:45. And again, you can see operator at this point has said, okay, should I? Again, this is a really good example of the confirmations work we're going to talk about a little bit later, but before doing an action, which is sort of irreversible in this case, you can cancel the reservation, obviously, but again, taking a critical action, operator is asking us before actually doing it. And in this case, I'm going to say, let's do it. Okay, it was pretty quick. I would say 50 seconds. And again, we were watching in this case, etc. But as Sam said,
you could kick off 10
kick it off and go on. Okay, so let's try something. Oh, unfortunately, that table is no longer available. So it's going to probably go and find alternate time slots.
Okay, cool.
That's kind of cool, actually. That's never happened before.
Live demos, man.
Yeah, that's great. Let's do it 15. Okay, while it's doing that, how about we try something a little bit more complicated?
What grocery?
Yeah, I love groceries. So I've been using Operator to shop all my groceries. I love to cook quite a bit, and I have been using Operator exclusively for groceries. So I have a shopping list here, which is this one. Let's see what it is. Eggs, spinach, mushrooms, chicken thighs, chili crunch.
So this is a picture.
More or less the spice.
That's exactly right.
Crunch. Okay.
And I'm going to use Instacart, which is, again, what we use generally. Can you buy this for me, please? And I'll also specify the store I like, which is... Well, let's see if he figures out I mistyped it, but let's see. Okay, so in this case, again, operator quickly actually recognized using GPT-4o's vision capabilities to understand that the image said egg, spinach, mushroom, chicken thighs, and it actually knew Gus's Market. And I'm like, yes, that sounds great. Cool. Again, just like OpenTable, it instantiated a browser, and it's going to go ahead and start doing tests. I'm going to expand the view, and let's see what it does.
So in both of these cases, you've said what you want it to use. If you just say, buy me these groceries and don't specify Instacart, what happens?
It will do a search, use a search engine, much like we do, and it'll find, Instacart or Gus's directly website or whatever else is on the search engine, go through that, ask you questions if it needs clarifications, and go from there. I'm curious what's happening here, though, Ray. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
So now that you've seen a bit of Operator, let me talk a little about the research behind it. So Operator is based on a new model we've trained at OpenAI, which we're calling the Computer Using Agent, or CUA for short. So CUA is a model built off of GPT-4o, but it's also trained to use and control a computer in the same way that humans can by just looking at the screen and using a mouse and keyboard to control it. Before, if you wanted to build something like Operator without CUA, you'd need to use some specialized APIs. For example, if you wanted your model to buy stuff from Instacart, you'd need to figure out if Instacart had an API. You'd need to figure out if that API had all the functions that it needed, and you need to give your model the specs of that API. But if your site, like most other websites, did not have an API, then you're out of luck.
This is just using screenshots, no API, nothing, just
no
working.
API. Yes.
Yeah, that was like a huge piece. So like people who are trying to create their own AI agents, and if AI agents are new for you guys, again, remember digital workers, right? So all these integrations, they had to let me give it layman's terms, right? You had to if you wanted for someone like an AI to actually buy groceries for you, what he's saying is you had to build that yourself. You had to figure out if there was actually a connection or integration with that app like Instacart before. And if there wasn't, you're out of luck, right? Now what they're doing is what it sounds like it's already integrated within the OpenAI ecosystem. So all these things are already built for you. So you don't have to go through all the work and all the building of these integrations, connecting it, trying to create your own customization within that to just buy groceries. It's all here now, right? At least the basic stuff, the fundamentals, right? So if let's say you're a gym bro, right? You like working out, you like having your consistent nutrition diet plan every single week. The way that I see it, right, is as I get Factor meals. Shout out to Factor. I like it because it's convenient. I don't have to go out and freaking, think about my meals. It just arrives at my doorstep every single week. Now I'm like, man, I'm not even sponsored by Factor, but I'm like, I don't even think I need Factor. All I need to do is create this guy here is my weekly grocery list for, let's say, Instacart, specifically for Whole Foods. Have that list every single week on let's say Sunday morning. I literally just hit that prompt and it literally just starts ordering for me on my behalf. So while I'm enjoying watching some football on the couch, my groceries are literally being bought, right? My groceries are being bought. I don't have to go through the process of spending the 10, 15 minutes, whatever, going through Instacart, trying to select all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, I just want to enjoy my college football, my NFL, right? Now it's all here. It's literally by the press of a button. So, man, this is super convenient if you just, you're like me. You don't want to think about groceries all the time. You want to make it as streamlined as possible.
And that's where Kua comes in. By teaching a model how to use the same basic interface that we use on a daily basis, it just unlocks a whole new range of software that can use that was previously inaccessible.
And so this is keyboard and mouse, right? It's kind of using keyboard and mouse. Just
Exactly.
Like would.
Yes. And that's really what the Kua research project is about. It's about removing one more bottleneck in our path towards AGI and letting our agents move around and act in the digital world. So let's make that a little bit more concrete by looking at this task and seeing exactly.
Cool. Layman's terms is they just remove the whole friction of you having to build all this stuff yourself. OpenAI has done it for you now, so you don't have to be even super techy. You could literally know nothing about AI and building all these automations and tools and just go straight to it.
How Operator is using a computer. So
done.
it looks like it's already done, but let's go back a little bit to the top here. Okay, so I chose a random spot. The first thing that Kua does when it controls the computer is it looks at the screenshot. So now you're seeing maybe the search results page for eggs in Instacart. So Kua understands this. It's just seeing the raw pixels. And after Kua sees this image, it decides what to do next. So right now it's making some inner monologues, and this is the summarized chain of thought. So what Kua is doing is, according to it, it's selecting organic eggs and adding it to the cart, which is a reasonable thing to do. So after it does this plan, it then figures out what the next action it should take is. So let's see what it does in the next step. Okay, so you see that it performed a click on this add button right here. So that's very reasonable. Now, every time Kua does an action, it takes the next screenshot of the computer so that it knows, what effect its action had on the computer. So let's see what happens next. Yep. Okay. So after clicking on the add button, now you see it in the cart, and this just kind of keeps continuing. Let's see what it does next. Okay. So it creates the next subplan, which is adding eggs and searching for spinach. So it's probably going to search for spinach now. Okay. So it clicks on the search bar right there. It types in spinach. So this loop of taking actions, grabbing screenshots, and creating new subplans, it just keeps going on until Operator decides that it's done with the task, and then it goes back to you.
It's very cool to see its thought process going like that.
It is, yeah. So let's actually go back to live, and cool Operator is done. Josh, do you want to see if Operator did your job right?
Yeah, let's see. You know what? I want a little bit more eggs. I think you eat a lot of eggs. Okay, so what I can do at this point, and I'm going to just click this button called Take Control. So this remote, as we were talking about, Operator fires up this remote browser to do it. We almost think of it as a surface area where Operator can work and then I can work. For example, in this case, I took over control from Operator, which is also key to sort of how we think about user and user controls. At any point in time, a user should be able to take control and give Operator instructions or tell a little bit more, guide a little bit more, etc.
Yeah, I think that's important because you want to readjust and be able to collaborate with the AI agent as opposed to just having it completely done for it, right? Like you said, there's going to be some mistakes here and there. It's still kind of in its early launches, early phases. So it's going to make some mistakes. You don't want it 100% just operating by itself. You kind of want an 80-20 rule here, right? 80-90% of it is done by the AI. You might come in the last 10 to 20%. I think that's an important piece there.
Etc.
It's like passing the laptop back and forth, just like you did with Ray.
Totally, exactly right. Just in this case, I'm gonna make those two, and then I'm just gonna tell Operator. This is again very much like if you and I were working, hey, I did this. Can you fix this?
Giving it more data.
And I'm gonna tell Operator I added.
That's what my AI is all about. So of course they have that. But
placeholder now.
Cool.
Can Operator see what you're doing during takeover mode?
Great point. So when you take over, it's very much just like a session with your local browser. It's completely private. Operator cannot see. And this is part of the reasons why I have to tell Operator. Or you don't really have to. It can look at the last screenshot and try to guess it. But it's really good. It's sort of like if you and I were working together, I went off and did something, and I come back Ray, I completely messed it up. Can you fix this? And I have to tell you that. So in this case, I'm going to tell Operator, hey, go ahead. And now I'm passing back the control to Operator. It's a completely private session when you take over control. This is you'll notice that I'm logged into Instacart here. I did it before the demo, or has been logged in for a while now. And it's again very much like your local browser. When you log into Instacart, until the cookies are cleared, you stay logged in, and we have really good controls. You can go in settings and control and remove at any point in time. So let's see. Okay. I will skip the payments here,
Okay, cool.
and
So
we are
there's no
going
payment
to. Should we try to do a few more things? Let's.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
I hear the Lakers are in town this weekend.
Lakers in town, definitely.
Lakers.
Should we all go
Okay.
see
What are you
the
talking
game?
about?
Let's do
bro?
it.
All right.
The Warriors.
Okay, so we are gonna use StubHub.
Kendrick Lamar tickets to
Get
start.
us 4 tickets
Give me the Kendrick
to
tickets.
the Warriors game, not the Lakers.
Excuse
game.
me. You're right.
Warriors. All right, cool. All right, if you don't know, I'm a Warriors
This
fan.
weekend,
I'm getting geeked. They actually end up doing that's
SF.
funny.
Best seats
Screw
under
the Lakers. Get the Warriors.
500, please. Give us a few options. Okay.
And so, what apps are available here?
We have a lot of apps. I'll kick it off, and all right, let's do it. So we have a lot of apps in various different categories, as was shown on the
Gonna get nosebleed
homepage. So
tickets,
it's
man. Warriors tickets
StubHub,
are
Target, Etsy, and all the verticals. But also, Operator is not really restricted to these apps. You can use pretty much, Operator with any website. Oops.
His blocked.
What happened?
Oh, StubHub is blocked.
Damn, that's how you know it's a
Let's
live
see. Let's
demo.
try to
They're
fix
just
it.
messing
So this
up.
is a good example of,
Let's see how they fix it.
sometimes things happen in live demos. We have put a protection in place where we only allow Operator to visit HTTPS sites, and somehow I think a redirect must be happening where.
Okay.
Okay. All set. Keep going.
That's cool. So they fixed it. He said it works for any website, which is pretty sick.
Okay, cool. So
You're right,
again,
right.
as we have talked about, it's a remote browser, so it can do a lot of things. One of the advantages of doing that is you can do a lot of tasks in parallel, as Sam you were talking about earlier. So let's try to do a few more tasks. Australian Open is going on, and I've been very inspired by it. Did you watch the quarterfinals?
I've been watching the quarterfinals.
All right, great. Okay, so I'm gonna try and see if I can get a tennis code. Can you find?
Okay, so is he getting another task started
see if Saint
while the
Mary-
other one's going in the background? I think that's what's happening, which is pretty sick. Because I guess it's just like having multiple tabs and it's going through each one. So he's like booking two
Okay, so
different tasks at
I
one
said
time,
St. Mary because I live in Bernal Heights,
which is
it's
like
pretty close
that's,
by.
That's key.
And while that's
see if
going,
that's
let's
in.
also.
And that time you didn't.
You
use
did
an
not
app.
specify.
I did not specify a website. I can actually quickly go back and see. In this case, it's doing very much what we would do, which is like, go to a search engine and then
Just
search
use
for
the
it.
internet, like
Exactly. Okay. I'm also hosting a Super Bowl party. You guys are invited.
Thank you.
Okay. But I need to clean the house.
Okay.
Can you?
Homeboy's got to get
find
the house clean before the guests
me
come. All right.
for next week, please? Okay.
Right.
And lastly, when we've all been working really hard to bring this to you,
The whole team.
the whole team. We have a big crew here. Everyone's working. We're very getting hungry. I didn't have breakfast. I kind of want pizza, even though it's weird for breakfast, but that's okay. And so I'm gonna go ahead and order some pizzas.
People love cold pizza in the morning.
Okay.
DoorDash.
So we're gonna use DoorDash in this case. Can you get us 10 medium? 10 good enough? Yeah. Medium-sized pizzas.
All right. He,
Goat Hill?
Goat Hill? Okay. Goat Hill
Or
pizza.
Goat Hill?
he's
Go
doing
to,
a lot of
Can you
pizzas.
make sure you have barbecue? I like that.
Please add
There's 4 of these
barbecue
guys.
pizza.
They're gonna eat 10 medium pizzas.
Pick a variety.
Crazy.
It's so
It's
hard not to stay
diabolical.
pleased.
I
Yeah.
know. I just feel like I have to be
He's
very
ready to eat. He's
nice
ready
to
for
it.
this Super Bowl party.
Which I do. Okay, shop might be closed. So if the restaurant
Okay. So he's putting some parameters. If the
It's
restaurant is
closed.
closed, he's gonna.
just schedule
Which is-
it.
Sometimes you gotta.
I
do
love that you're talking to it just like you would a human.
I'm thinking inner monologue.
You know what's
and then I'm
crazy? Is I was
typing it
literally
out.
thinking the same exact thing. What he just said was, "I love how you're talking as if like you're talking to a human," because I was like, when I talk to an assistant, be like, "Hey, I need these things ready for an event. Order this stuff." If Party City is closed, go here. Like go find something here. Okay, cool. If that's closed, go around here. So that's naturally how we talk to humans. Again, this is so different, and why the difference between like just the AI prompting compared to an AI agent is an evolution of from software to a digital worker. Is you don't talk to you don't really talk to software. Software is like in its box and it does its thing. It has its parameters. It's limited. It kind of has to think within the box. And again, you have to be there to input for it to output, right? With this, it's like, all right, cool. I'm talking to my digital worker. It's called Larry.ai. He's going to go do the thing. hey, if this is closed, do that. So again, that's such a good piece. I was literally thinking that as he was saying it.
Possible. Okay. Also, one thing I'll call out, I think, okay, cool. Okay, so it's just asking me to confirm basically what I said in a much better way. Yes. We can't see the notifications popping up on the live stream, but for example, as the other tasks are going on, if I need assistance, for example, in this case, it asked me, hey, this is 941100, I can just say yes, but I would be getting notifications, etc., so that whenever operator needs help, we can go back and help. Looks like in this case, it's already found us tennis courts.
Cool.
And okay, well, we have some selection to make.
Wow, all of the seats are amazing.
I know. Why do I believe 374 is better than 262?
That's an interesting thing.
I was like, okay, cool. So let's break that down. What was happening was literally as he was going through this, what's happening now is the tennis courts and the game and the pizzas are all happening at the same time. So in fact, it's actually better than an assistant because literally an assistant can't be in 3 places at one time. It can't have like, unless you have literally 3 monitors and 3 computers, you're like, oh, here's the thing. And then here's the thing. You can't multitask like that. Why an AI agent is actually better than a human assistant at this point is they can literally execute on 3 or multiple tasks at the same time. Humans can't do that. That's what I want everyone to kind of understand here is like it's a fundamental way in how it works. It can be at 3 places at one time, booking the pizza, getting the Warriors game, getting the tennis courts, all at the same time. And humans were restricted by being in one place. So this in itself is a game changer. That's like 3xing, 5xing, maybe even 10xing the productivity with these admin tasks here.
But it's lower rated.
Which one should we add? Row 6?
I think row 1. Row 1.
Row 1? Okay,
do that.
let's do that. Let's do section 214. Row 1.
So this is a good time to talk about the human in the loop interaction mode that we've been developing. You can see that operator comes back and asks for confirmation when it's about to do anything kind of impactful. And yeah, so I think we're all very excited about this vision of operator doing your chores for you, but it is one of the first agents that we're putting out in the world and which has real world side effects. And so we thought carefully about how to deploy this safely. The framework we used to think about this was one centered around misalignment. So for example, what if the user is misaligned? So maybe they're asking for a harmful task, like buy a weapon or something like that. In that case, fortunately, we've done a lot of work with ChatGPT to bring over a lot of the same mitigations. So for example, we refuse harmful tasks, including harmful agentic.
Pay attention to this because this is actually super important. Like one of the things that we want to actually be very mindful of when it comes to this whole AI stuff is just like the risk that comes along with it, right? Like we're trying to prevent this whole like robots are taking over the world. Like, yeah, that's a thing, but like there are actual risk and downsides and possible harmful effects of AI. It's not all just sunshine and rainbows. So the fact that the OpenAI team actually has this top of mind is actually super, super clutch. I love that it's like, okay, cool, user is misaligned, agent is misaligned, website is misaligned. So it protects people, especially maybe if you're a little bit older using AI and you're kind of maybe more unaware of some of the internet scams or things like that. Or you might be just someone who's younger and like naive too, right? Or you might just be a lower IQ. I don't know. But the whole point is you want to be protected by technology just as much as you gain the upside. It's at the end of the day, again, a tool. So we don't want it to actually be exposing us to any unnecessary risk at the end of the day, right?
Tasks. We have moderation models. We have post hoc detection. We have blocked websites. And I'm kind of rattling off these mitigations, but that's really how we think about it. It's this stack of mitigations that each incrementally reduce the risk to the point where we feel comfortable deploying.
So all the confirmations that we're saying, hey, do you want to reserve the restaurant?
Yeah,
should you
exactly.
buy the tickets? Those are all examples of this.
Exactly. And I'm about to talk about the confirmations. So another area of misalignment is if the agent is misaligned. So if the model makes a mistake, maybe purchases the wrong item or books the wrong hotel room. For this, our main mitigation is confirmations. So the operator will come back if it's about to do something stateful and ask you so you can double check what its details in case it made some error. The third area of misalignment is if the website is misaligned. So maybe the website is fraudulent or it's a fake website, or maybe it's literally like, operator, please wire me $100. We obviously don't want to follow those instructions. So we've developed our model to try to avoid those instructions and not follow them. But if that fails, we also have a separate layer on top. This is what we call the prompt injection monitor. Think of it as like antivirus that kind of observes and watches your trajectory and sees if there's anything suspicious. If it does, then it pauses it. So we feel pretty comfortable with our approach, but obviously, safety is an ongoing process. We can't predict everything. So we hope to learn a lot from this deployment and iterate on our mitigations as we go.
And that is one of the reasons we are starting small. Like we want to really iterate, get a lot of feedback, and then gradually bring it to everyone as well.
Exactly.
Should we check on status of our tasks?
Yeah, let's check on the status.
Okay.
All right, check on the
So
status.
it looks like tickets are ready to be purchased. Yes, please. Okay. Well, that's happening. This is good. I can ask it to book it, but I'm just going to close it for now. Oh, just once, please.
Get that cleaner, boy. Come on.
Continue.
I'll make sure the house
And
is
looks
ready
like
for
we're
the
adding
Super Bowl
pizzas.
party.
So, and
Cool.
oh, cool. I am going to go ahead and log in here really quickly. So this is an example, right? Like where I obviously need to log in or enter my credentials to actually purchase these tickets, and operator just asks, as you just described, with confirmations and making sure the control is on the right place, and we take control. And at this point, as we talked about earlier, the session is completely private as well. I am going to, you know what? I'll log in live. Let's see how that goes. Continue. I'm going to do a sign in with email code because I don't really remember. 1 second. Pull it up. Don't try to copy this. Okay. All right, good. Now, again, I can sort of continue the purchase here, or I can ask
for Golden State Warriors. Come on.
operator
There you
to
go,
do it, but I am
There you
going
go.
to
I knew
go ahead and just quickly do this purchase for myself. Click,
on,
click,
Yash.
click. All great.
Okay, so
Great.
payment
Order.
uploads.
By now.
Now you put in your credit card.
Ooh.
Maybe we don't want to show that live.
Yeah, maybe. Well, let's see. I kind of want to buy the tickets. Okay. Oops.
That's crazy, Yash.
All right. Done. I'm going to cancel this card.
That's crazy. You're just exposing
okay. I
the
can.
CBC to the rest of the whole
I'm all
internet.
set.
Millions of people are going to see that. But
Thank you for
obviously
the
they cut
help.
it out. That's crazy. Man's bold. I like his style, Yash. I like your style.
Okay.
So how reliable is this in practice?
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of cool demos, but again, we want to remind you that Operator is a research preview. It will make mistakes, and it is not perfect. That said, we can look at a few benchmarks and kind of quantify how good Operator is right now. So one of the first benchmarks that we're going to look at is called OS World. OS World is an eval that measures how well AI agents navigate common operating systems like Linux. On this task, Kua gets a 38.1% score, which is higher than other publicly published results. Human performance in this task is 72.4%, so we still have room to grow, definitely.
Cool.
The other eval we'll take a look at is called WebArena. WebArena is an eval that measures how well AI agents navigate some common websites like e-commerce websites or social forum websites.
If I'm
On this
understanding this
task,
chart
Kua gets
correctly, let's look at
58.1%.
this. Let's break down this data a little bit. So human web browsing agents, computer use, universal interface. So I'm assuming what they're doing is they're comparing how the AI agent did to a human. Like I guess I'm guessing it's like 72.4% is like the accuracy that it does, right? And then OpenAI's Cuba, or whatever they call it, the AI agent that they're using here, is about 58.1% for browser use, 38.1% for computer use. So again, like he's saying, it still makes mistakes. They're still bound for error. But AI moves so fast. This is only going to get better and better as they get more data. Again, this is early launch. They're only the pro users right now as the recording of this video. And so I'm assuming it's going to get just as good as humans or even better than humans as time goes on. So that's my hypothesis. I don't know. I could be wrong. But that's my hypothesis of what they're working towards.
Again, higher than other publicly published results, but still falls short of human performance.
Still a way to go.
Still a way to go, yes.
Yeah,
one thing that's important to remember about WebArena is that even though it's the web, we're still just giving it the same universal interface of screen, mouse, and keyboard. We're not giving it any extra information that might help it do the task, like the raw text of the web page or information about which buttons are clickable. And all the information it needs, just like humans, is just in the screenshot.
And so right now, obviously, an operator, we're using the browser, but I could use the model with the computer as well, with just Ubuntu or Mac or whatever else.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right. Well, in the last, I don't know, 15 minutes, I think I did all my errands for the week. Got my groceries,
Yeah.
tennis court booked, cleaner's coming.
what I was saying.
Hopefully, we'll see. We'll check on the status. We have tickets. Everyone's coming. And this is really, I think, where we think operator is like very, very valuable. We can delegate a lot of tasks that you can do, obviously, yourself, but you can delegate it. It can make a lot of progress with you. Sometimes we'll get stuck. As we said, it's early. We can come back, help it, and over time, it'll continue to get better and better. And one last thing. We're launching this today. We're going to start slowly rolling it out right now. End of the day, everyone on Pro in the US will have access. But also, we're working on the API. This model will be available in the API, and we'll be launching in a few weeks.
You guys, congrats. This is incredible work.
Wow.
So excited to get this out. I think people are going to
Good
love
job,
it.
team.
It's early, as we mentioned, but we have a long and great history here of early research previews developing into products that people really love. So this is really the beginning of this product. This is the beginning of our step into agents, level 3 on our tiers. And we can't wait to see how people are going to use this and to kind of work with us to figure out where exactly it should go. So again, congrats. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Okay, good stuff, Sam. So that's operator, right? Now, I'm going to break down in the last 2 to 3 minutes of this video right now. I'm actually going to show you kind of the summarized thinking that I have with actual operator and what I think is going to go on, right? So let's give a little bit of a recap. Let's go into like what this all means, what this video, why it's important to actually start using and what it actually can actually result in for us, right? So let me share my screen here, give it a little breakdown. So here's the thing to recap of what I believe I'm understanding. And here's the thing, I could be totally wrong. If anything that I've said in this video is technically wrong, please drop in the comments, because I'm not here to sit and pretend that I'm the smartest AI person in the world. In fact, I've told you before, I'm not the most technically savvy person. I just love learning how to use AI for my business, for my clients, and to help my own personal life, right? So here is what I'm understanding at the end of the day. And this is why the theme of what we talked about earlier in the video is 2025 is the year of AI agents, okay? We're going from kind of this just like box, right? This AI box, this text box, we input, we output, right? We give it an input, we get back an output, right? To now, there's this evolution happening where this AI box is now getting some legs under it. So what I mean by that is it's now an actual digital worker. It can do tasks by itself with initial prompt, and it's going to run in the background on autopilot while you're doing other things. So let's talk about it. What does that mean? So what might take you or your assistant, again, you do this yourself, or you have an assistant if you have a business, whatever it might be, a human. If I'm going to do all these tasks, let's say on a Sunday, right? Generate all these different tasks. Maybe you're kind of like me. You like to batch your admin or your different tasks, personal things throughout the week, right? This whole process might take you anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes on average, maybe 60 minutes if you're a little bit slower, right? If you're quick, maybe you're like Lightning Speedy Gonzalez, you do this in like 15 minutes or less, okay? Now, as you can see by this demonstration, that's the human, right? The human is doing that, okay? For example, doing this task of booking out basketball tickets, tennis courts, groceries, all right, cleaners, pizza, all right? All these things will probably take an average human being anywhere like 30 to 40-ish minutes, okay? Now, here's what's happening is now we have this AI digital worker, right? It can get this done probably in like 5 to 10 minutes, right? Obviously, in this demonstration, they were talking through it, so it's taking a little bit longer. They were kind of trying to explain it as well. This whole video is around 22 minutes, right? But it could probably get this done in 5 to 10 minutes. So what used to take humans, let's say 45 minutes, we get it done in literally a fraction of the time with these AI agents. Keep in mind, what's super cool is that a lot of this is happening in the background, so you don't even really have to think. like I can set a weekly like recurring time on my calendar, let's say 12 p.m. on Eastern time every single Sunday morning. I do all my personal chores and admin, right? So literally I'm like literally clicking on the prompts and starting the prompt. It's like, okay, get my groceries. I got to do a date night on Tuesday night. I need to find some core power classes, whatever it might be. I need a cleaner come in on Wednesday. And you're just literally for like 3 minutes, okay? You put your laptop down, maybe go on a nice walk. Who knows, maybe make a cup of coffee. Maybe you start eating lunch. You come back 5-10 minutes later, and you're literally like 90% completion, right? Again, it's not going to be 100% completion, not yet, because it's still early on, but we get about 90% completion. And we're only really needed in the last part, which is oftentimes putting in your payment method, right? Confirming. You literally just say, yes, confirm, yes, confirm, all this stuff. So why is this so beneficial? Because at the end of the day, what we're doing is we're saving a boatload of time. Okay, let's do the math, right? Let's say you save, let's just be conservative. Let's say you save 30 minutes every single week, okay? So what does that mean? In a month, you save 2 hours, okay? You save 2 hours of time in a month, right? How many times, times 12, there's 12 months, right? That's 24 hours. You buy back a whole day every single year through this. Now, this is just one small use case. We're talking about chores. Now, it's going to start off very fundamental, but now, and what I'm even seeing in the AI space is this is going to evolve and is already evolving to work being done. I know some smart people who are able to like do some of the repetitive like marketing or sales tasks that they do on a regular basis through the automation of AI agents. So of course, we're just talking about the domain of like the personal life here. And you're probably like, oh, well, Larry, it's only another day that I buy back every year. It's only personal chores. I could spend time doing this. Like, oh my God. No, what you're not understanding here is, if you're thinking that, is you don't understand that this ripple effect in other domains of our life is going to really start taking hold over here over the next few years. It's not just going to be our personal life. This is going to start happening at work, right? My hypothesis is you're going to start to train your own AI agent to sound like you and respond to emails. And you're going to wake up, let's say it takes you like 30 to 45 minutes to respond to your inbox of like 60 plus emails that came over the weekend. On Monday, you're like, the last thing I want to do on Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern time is respond to all these emails. There might be an AI agent that you train on your voice, your tone, your branding, how you respond to very specific types of emails. And what used to take you, 30 to 45 minutes responding to all these dang emails, we might be able to get done in 3 to 5 minutes. Okay? So that's the real power here. So with that being said, that's the video, y'all. If you enjoyed this video and you want more of this, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And drop anything that you took away from this actual video in the comments below. I want to hear from you. Till next time, all right? Cheers.